So Friday on Arena Gridiron, and you should watch it if you haven't, because it is the hottest digital show out there. We discussed / debated, who would you want to build your franchise around, Baker Mayfield or Drake Maye? And I went hard. I went in on Baker Mayfield. I loved him before he was drafted, said he should be the first pick overall, and he was. And he outplayed Drake Maye today in Tampa, and he lost because Drake Maye has so many advantages over Baker Mayfield right here, right now. Baker Mayfield is playing, obviously, for the rest of the year, it looks like, without Mike Evans. It sounds like Chris Godwin is hurt and may be gone for the rest of the year. No Jalen McMillan this year. And Vrabel has that New England defense playing at a supremely high level. So what did I see from Todd Bowles' defense? It gave up really 4 massive plays, but 3 that lost the game. A 72-yard touchdown pass to a rookie, and 2 breakaway runs, one right up the gut to another rookie, Travion Henderson, 55 and 69. That was the football game. But it turned on 4th and goal at the 6-inch line. After Vrabel did something I have never seen a coach do. On 1st and goal, with 1:13 left, he had his young quarterback, Drake Maye, sort of take a knee immediately right at the line of scrimmage so they didn't lose more than maybe a half yard they lost, to kill the clock, to keep the ball away from Baker Mayfield. Never seen that before. And yet, Tampa Bay's defense rose and defended and stood tall and stood strong, and it goes to 4th and goal at the 6-inch line. And Drake Maye threw it a little high. At least he gave Stephon Diggs a chance, and Stephon Diggs made a great catch and a great double toe tap for the touchdown at the first half buzzer that put them ahead at halftime. And I think it was the play of the game. New England had command from that point forward. Tampa was playing uphill from that point forward. So here's the point. Baker Mayfield outplayed Drake Maye for the entire football game. If you look at Baker's numbers, 28 of 43 for 273, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he was under fire, under duress from the New England pass rush all game long. He lost to his right guard in the really right, it seemed like it was the second series. And they couldn't keep the pass rush off Baker Mayfield. He was running for his life much of the game and still threw for 342. That'll work. I'll just take Baker Maye on his intangibles. Not that he doesn't have a live arm. In fact, I think his arm is every bit of Drake Maye's arm. But Drake Maye is prototype. What do you give him? 6'5", 240, 45. He's everything you want in a combine quarterback. He can run, athletic. I do like his pedigree. I like it that his father played quarterback at North Carolina, as did he. I like it that his brother played basketball at North Carolina and made one huge shot that was memorable. I like that. I like pedigree. I like that you grow up thinking you can do this because your father and your brother did this. But I often watched him at Carolina, and I thought, maybe, so I started calling him Drake maybe, I'm not taking him over Baker Mayfield. And today did not change my mind in any way, shape, or form. Baker Mayfield has it. Baker Mayfield has contagious fire. I believe that Baker Mayfield's teammates love rising and shining for him, with him, a little more than Drake Maye's do for him. Drake Maye he's calm, cool, and collected for a second-year player, but almost to a fault. I don't see much fire from him. I don't see contagious fire from him. But he's got a nice arm, and he's a good deep ball thrower, and he threw one to Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was dominating the game. They had 6 big catches for over 100 yards. And the one deep one went for 54 yards, and somehow Tampa survived that. The problem is Baker's defense, as I've said all year, it's just not very good. they can't stop anybody when they really need to stop anybody, and they just rely on Baker, as he did in the first 4 games, to pull it out in the end. And today, he had a nice late drive, and then he got sacked on 4th down because they can't protect him. And the other problem with Tampa's defense is it just can't rush the passer. Too many injuries, too many lost stars. There's no consistent pass rush. Vita Vea is a mountain of a man and can move the pile, but he can't consistently. He can push the pocket. He can't just crush the pocket and get to the quarterback. They don't have that guy, and it's going to hurt them all year. They still have a nice lead because Atlanta and Carolina lost today in the division as they fall to 6-3. But I love the way Baker played today. If you look at first downs, Tampa had 24 to New England 16. Tampa rushed the ball fairly well for 113 yards because Vrabel's defense is hard to run the ball against. That was legitimate enough that would give you a chance to win, but you can't give up 166 because 2 of the carries went for 55 and 69. So there are 3 big busts, and then there's one huge play made by Stephon Diggs at the first half buzzer. And that's the game. But did Baker play poor? No, played really well. But think about what Baker's doing. It becomes Baker to Cade Otton or Baker to Ibuka. I mean, as great as the kid is, he's a ninja, but he's a rookie. So it becomes from the wide receiver position. I know Tez Johnson here and there, Sterling Shepard here and there, but it kind of becomes Ibuka or bust. And it's just too much on a rookie who I thought in the 4th quarter today, I thought he ran out of gas. It was sticky, humid because it was rainy in Tampa. And it just looked like Christian Gonzalez wore his butt out today. It just looked to me like Christian Gonzalez wanted to make a statement because he had a man just about every time. And just blanketed him all over the field. Christian Gonzalez made a statement today that he's the best cover corner in the league. And by the way, he was second on the team with 9 tackles. So don't tell me he's not a physical football player because he was all day long today. He did a number on Ibuka, especially in the 4th quarter. Ibuka had, I had him for 2 drops. I had Tampa for 4 drops. I thought Baker played his ass off. Yeah, did I want him to bring it home one more time late? Against that defense, in the end, the degree of difficulty was just too high. But would I take Baker going forward, even though he's a little undersized? They give him 6'1". Sometimes he gets to be a little bit of a butterball. Lost a little weight in the offseason. It looks much better. He's an overachiever. He was a 2-time walk-on at Texas Tech and Oklahoma. I got it. But I got love for Baker, man. Baker is it to me because he's got it. He will scratch and claw you to death. He'll fight you to the finish. And he did today. He even had a late rifle shot touchdown pass to Tez Johnson that did cut it to 28-23. So I loved what I saw from Baker. I'm still taking him over Drake, maybe. But that was a statement by the New England Patriots. I give you this. And it was a statement by their young quarterback because all they'd done was go to Buffalo when we kind of least expected it and beat Buffalo. And then look at the egg that Buffalo laid today at Miami. It's just hard for me to respect Buffalo as a legit Super Bowl contender when you have a season-making victory over the Kansas City Chiefs with everybody watching just a week ago. And then you go down to Miami. I got the weather change. I got the humidity. I get it. You live and play in Buffalo. But you go down and you just stink. It's a season-breaking sort of loss. A bad loss, a significant loss, a decisive loss to the Miami Dolphins, who are still dangerous, as we saw at Atlanta. So now do you really put that much stock into what Drake Maye and company did at Buffalo? They're really good on defense, and he has progressed. He has grown up fast with Josh McDaniels, one of the great play callers in the history of this game, calling his plays and propping him up and putting him in the correct situations. That's a good and dangerous football team that is feeling better and better about itself. But it hadn't beaten anybody except the one shocking, unexpected win at Buffalo until today. So that's figuratively off to Vrabel and that defense, and ultimately to that quarterback. Drake Maye was Drake May today. There was no may or may not today. He may have his way, and he did. But in the end, I read you the numbers. Baker Mayfield outplayed Drake Maye, but Baker Mayfield can't play defense.